Financial. You can voice your opinion by calling 672-KROE. That's 672-5763. Now, your host for Public Pulse, Floyd Whiting.
Good morning and welcome to Public Pulse. Now joining me for the first part of the show this morning from the Sheridan Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director Dixie Johnson, Director of Impact Sheridan, Scott Brendall, and the Wyoming Business Council Northeast Region Director, Brandy Harlow. Good morning, folks.
Good morning, Floyd.
Good morning.
Now, we have before us here, are you pretty much the makeup of the Sheridan Economic Development Task Force? And if you are, what is that mission?
So we are all representatives to the task force, but the task force actually includes a number of different groups in town. So if you look at the city and the county, both have representation. The mayor, Mayor Bridger sits on it, Commissioner Haswell, as well as the administrators for both the city and the county. We also include travel and tourism, CEDA, Sheridan College, the Chamber, Downtown Sheridan, and then Impact 307. So these are all groups that have a role or a stake to play in the economic development of our area. So we get together and we talk about the things that we can do to kind of move some of the economic development initiatives forward. And that's been very productive to have that kind of discussion and get ideas from the cross-section of all the groups that are involved with economic development.
And, we hear about economic development throughout the entire state, throughout the entire nation. What is that? If we were to define economic development, what would that look like? What is that? When we all sit around and we all try to have this discussion on moving forward with these initiatives, what is the end goal?
Go
ahead. And I was thinking, Brandy, you could talk a little bit about it since that is your role. But really, it's about jobs, right? And it's about creating wealth in the community or having a very thriving, vibrant community. But Brandy has some great definitions of economic development. And works in the Northeast region with communities, economic development entities, cities, counties, all across the Northeast region, and then works in partnership with many of her cohorts around the state with the Wyoming Business Council.
Yeah, sure. Ma'am, the Wyoming Business Council, it's huge. They've got their fingers in a lot of pies throughout the state.
It is. So it's the state's economic development agency, and when you say huge, we have a lot of projects going on, but there's less than 30 employees within the entire agency. So small agency, work on a lot of different projects. And that's the million-dollar question. What is economic development? Everybody has a different definition. Mm-hmm. We've kind of boiled it down to it's really about increasing prosperity. And that might be simplified a little bit, but that means that, it's a great place to live. People want to live there, that quality of life piece of it. As well, workforce, you have to have workforce and good jobs, increasing the tax base. So I think that's probably the easiest definition. Years ago, I heard it's really about just getting the same people in the right, back up a little bit, the right people in the same room at the right time. So it's really about facilitating conversations because we don't make economic development happen. We just help facilitate that. We bring the businesses and the players together, and hopefully we can make things happen that way.
And a lot of facets go into that, isn't it? Recreation,
Absolutely.
Parks, areas that make people want to move into town. That's part of it. Gathering places, large facilities, and helping to fund those and keep those up so people can have meetings and talk about things as we all move forward. There's a lot involved in economic development. Now, a community review, which is mainly what we're here to talk about. Let's define what that is. What is a community review?
So the community review that we're about to embark on is a way to assess and gather feedback on the things that folks currently value about our local community, value about our region or our greater area, if Sheridan County as a whole, and what they would like to see in the future. And so everyone may think that there's a number of great things about the community that exists today, but what will it look like 10 years, 15 years from now? And so the task force back in the early part of this year said that why don't we do this review. We have done them periodically across the state. Gillette just had one earlier this year, and it might be time for Sheridan to do it. Many, many years ago, Sheridan had done one. I don't think we have too much of the results of those because it was done so long ago, but it's time to do it again. And it allows us to kind of fold in some of the things that all of the various economic development entities, plus the city and the county, when they do their planning, can actually incorporate some of the things that will come out of the survey.
And so in a way, it's a way for all of us to stop and say, what do I really value about my community? What makes it great? Why do I want to be here? And how can I use that to get other people to join me?
I think there's a lot of quality of life elements. So we talked about the things that make people want to be here. Good housing, good neighborhoods, good schools, the amenities, the resources of the area, infrastructure in terms of being able to connect to the rest of the world. That's very, very important and a very significant part of economic development. So I think we're wanting the survey to gather feedback on all the things that are working really well and then the things that we might be able to work on over the next few years.
So the results of this, we're hoping, kind of help us to figure out where we need to put resources. Where do we need to improve our game as we go forward, in a sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And to help kind of determine and develop some priorities. And this is a community-wide effort. So it's the Sheridan area, the larger Sheridan area. It's Sheridan County. So we're really excited because it's an opportunity for everybody to have a voice, to participate. And that's why we're here today. Tonight, this is really going to be launched with the first part of it, which is actually a community survey. And so there will be a presence down at Third Thursday Street Festival. We have some hard copies of surveys. We also have some QR codes, and people can go and take the surveys online, all anonymous. But this really is an opportunity for people's voices to be heard. And so we'd really encourage people to participate.
This is their way to be involved in the future of their community right here. Because you are going to have a voice to speak to the movers and shakers, really. The people who help to bring businesses here, the people who help to fund these recreational opportunities and the facilities that we all use and enjoy. So there's only a few questions on this review. You would think that there would have to be a lot more, but really, this is boiled down, and they're pretty good. I'm going to read them out for you here. What do you value about your community? Now, values, I mean, they're all really key to life itself, isn't it? I mean, they guide us, they direct us, they show us which direction to go. And we all have different values. So you really got to think about that question. What do you value about your community? What do you value about the Sheridan area? Now, that can encompass everything. That can encompass all of Sheridan County. That can encompass the entire region. That can encompass the entire Northeast region.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because here in Wyoming, one thing that we do, maybe I can't get something here, so I do a lot of work over in Gillette, or maybe I have to go all the way over to Cody for something. That's my region. That's where I am encompassed. So what do you value about the Sheridan area? What would you like to see in the future? And we're thinking approximately 10 to 15 years from now, which, a decade and a half seems like it's far out there. But when it comes to building facilities, when it comes to getting companies to move, that's not much time at all, is it? 10 to 15 years.
Much of what we try to do, there's certainly short-term operational tactical things that we'll do in the next year or two, but a lot of things the groundwork needs to be laid over several years. And so we want to actually capture some of the shorter term things that need to be worked on, as well as what might need to be put in place, 10 to 15 years from now. Thus the name Sheridan Thrive 2035 is an approximation of the time frame that we're looking at in trying to do this survey and gather feedback.
What is our area going to look like in 2035? Oh man, it could be anything. I mean, with the advent of technology, it's changing all the time. Now, could you elaborate on the type of answers that you're actually looking out for Thrive 25? Are we looking at essay or summary?
I think it's going to be up to the individual responding. I mean, there might be very short and sweet answers. There may be folks that have a laundry list of things that they would like to offer up. And let me talk about an important distinction between what do you value about your community and what do you value about the Sheridan area. So we are intentionally asking for zip codes so that if we get respondents from Dayton or Story or Claremont, we will be able to get some subsets of things that are valued about those local areas in addition to the Sheridan area as a whole. So we're really wanting to encounter and incorporate feedback from everyone across the county. And the zip code request is just a way for us to subsegment the data. Mm-hmm. And so there might be different answers to what do you value about your community in Dayton versus what the Sheridan respondents will have.
As well as if we have tourists in town.
Visitors,
and we are,
yeah.
Absolutely. Right. We encourage people to take it. But this way, we'll be able to then narrow that down. And I say we, the Wyoming Business Council, they have a structure in place, a process in place, and they've been doing this for some time now. So we're really excited to be working with them. But this will allow us an opportunity, you're right, to be able to kind of segment those out.
And I'm glad you brought up visitors because, say, Tom from Georgia. And Tom from Georgia has been visiting Sheridan for 35 years. He's been spending his money here every summer. Tom from Georgia has a bit of an investment in Sheridan because he likes it here. He loves the community. And I think, in my opinion, maybe he doesn't call it a residence, but Tom from Georgia comes here because he values Sheridan and Sheridan's values. And this is where he chooses to vacation. So I think it's a great move to have our visitors partake in this as well. We're going to continue talking about this when we come back with the Sheridan Economic Development Task Force. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.
At Eliason Financial, money management isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about dreams and opportunities, and more importantly, family. We'll take time to get to know you. Then we'll develop a unique wealth management plan that works hard, just like you. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Opening a new business can be stressful. Cloud Peak Accounting will get you over the hurdles of establishing and launching your new business, like setting up your bookkeeping and payroll systems, registering with all government agencies, tax planning and compliance, and all the other details you haven't even thought of yet. Whether you've been in business for years or are contemplating the launch of a new business, contact Cloud Peak Accounting for a consultation. Visit cloudpeakcpa.com.
This is Stella Montano inviting you to join AARP for a free movie screening of Dear Sirs. Wyoming filmmaker Mark Pedri bikes across France and Germany to tell the story of his grandfather, an American prisoner of war during World War II. Join us for this fun and educational event Wednesday, July 27th at the WYO Theater. Movie starts at 6:45 with question and answer session to follow. Walk-ins are welcome or register ahead at aarp.cventevents.com/Sheridan.
Things are heating up, and many of us taking to the road for vacation and road trips. And time to ask yourself if your car is summer road ready. High temperatures can weaken batteries and cause blowouts on damaged, worn tires. Midas to the rescue. You can get $100 back plus 6 months no interest on a set of 4 tires when you use the Midas credit card. You can also save on oil changes and batteries, keeping you safe for summer driving. Stop in Midas Tire and Auto on East Brundage Lane in Sheridan.
There's an old saying that new isn't always better. Hi, this is Brad at Prime Rate Motors, and every day you see new this and new that. Here at Prime Rate Motors, we think that the familiar faces you have seen for as many as 40 years is better. Kenny, Jim, Joel, and Brad have been here for you for decades. We know our customers and we know this market. We are constantly looking for quality pre-owned vehicles that we know you need. We know how to make a good deal here at Prime Rate Motors Super Trailer Store at 2305 Coffin Avenue here in Sheridan.
If you love a good bargain, you better get to SheridanMedia.com and shop Hot Buys. Bid on items like a series of PEMF wellness treatments. Bomber Mountain Nutrition is back. We also have dining certificates to Firewater Smokehouse Grill. And get ready to clean your carpets after rodeo? Might as well save some money, up to $150 on a $300 gift certificate. See all these items starting at 50% off. It's one day only. It ends tonight at 8 o'clock. Check it out. Hot Buys. SheridanMedia.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends out there at Elias and Financial. I'm Floyd Whiting, and with me this morning from the Sheridan Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director Dixie Johnson, Director of Impact Sheridan, Scott Rendall, and from the Wyoming Business Council Northeast Region Director, Brandy Harlow. We're discussing the Sheridan Community Review. This is a survey that contains only 3 questions. What do you value about your community? What do you value about the Sheridan area? And what would you like to see in the future, approximately 10 to 15 years from now? The survey also asks for your home zip code. This will help those collecting the information know if you are a visitor or a resident of Sheridan, Dayton, Claremont. We need to know these answers. Now, let's go to, once we gather all this information and the people have taken part, how will the answers from these questions guide the development of Sheridan in the future?
Go ahead, Brandy.
Sure. So I'll take that one. The process really is to try to interview as many people as we can, and we'll bring in a staff from the Business Council, so we're completely objective. It's not the Economic Development Task Force that'll be asking those questions.
An outside force will be looking at these answers.
An outside force. Mm-hmm. So the Business Council comes in. We usually bring in 3 or 4 people. We will have some listening sessions in early November after we collect all the survey data. And really those listening sessions are the same thing. It's the same 3 questions, but it's an opportunity to have conversations about those 3 questions. And we just record that information. We'll take that back. During that week, we'll have a town hall meeting and do a very small snippet of what we heard, the main themes that we heard in the community, and ask folks to prioritize those, ask folks to come and talk about what is the most important, and we need who wants to volunteer to work on those themes. And that's the big piece of it, is the implementation piece. You know, planning can only go so far, but you have to have those local champions and have local people to work on those things that come up to the top.
And I'm curious as to how that will be done, Dixie. Do we have an idea of implementation, something tangible to come out of this?
Well, I absolutely believe there will be a lot of tangible items that do come out of this, but really that's why we are together as an Economic Development Task Force. So this is an ad hoc group of people in positions representing different organizations and agencies that really we want to hear, you know, what people value in our community and how they want to see the community in the future. And then that information will be used, you know, we're not going to keep it just under wraps at the Economic Development Task Force level. It's going to be used at your county commission meetings or at your city council meetings or when they're doing their long-term planning or strategic planning. They can use this information really when they're having to make some decisions and talk about taxpayer dollars and where they're going to be putting those resources, as can we at the chamber, as can Impact Sheridan when they're looking at their strategies, right? As can our Main Street, because we don't know exactly what's going to be included, what information is going to bubble to the top, and maybe it's something that none of us have even thought about before, but it's going to give all of us in the community an opportunity to really address those. Yes, there will be tangibles. We just don't know what those look like yet. And we have to be careful when you go through something like this, not to get too far ahead and start trying to form solutions yourself. This is really going through this grassroots process. You need to just kind of maintain positivity, but also have patience and let the process work, because it will work.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not going to be overnight.
Yeah, it's definitely publicly driven process. This needs to come from the public to talk about what their priorities are. Back to your question about what physically we'll do a full report. The Business Council will write a report. We'll distribute that publicly. Of course, you can put it on your website. I'm sure it'll be on the Chamber's website. That report comes out about 6 weeks after the public listening sessions, and then we move into a process that we call strategic doing, and that's where the rubber meets the road, where people really need to step up and say, hey, this is important to me. This is how I can help with this process.
Strategic doing, I like that. That's a good little phrase. I'm going to steal that. Strategic doing. This is carefully planned out, obviously. Movements that will be conducted by individuals in as far as what kind of businesses we bring here, what kind of businesses we gear ourselves to bring here, that type of thing, or hey, when we look for grants from the Wyoming Business Council, what do we want to put in a grant for? Is it a new meeting center? Is it a new community center that we could use? that kind of strategic doing?
Do you want to jump on that one, Scott?
Yeah, certainly. There'll be multiple facets. So some of it might involve infrastructure. There might be some capital projects that are initiated as a
Always
result
important,
of this.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we obviously Dixie led with, the what is economic development? Jobs are a big element of it. And so what are the types of jobs, what are the types of companies that we would like to have here that will help contribute to the economic base that will allow people to live here and have a quality of life with all the amenities that Sheridan has that we all enjoy. So, the jobs have to be there to be able to support the folks that live here in most respects.
And folks, if you're thinking about, well, what are we talking about infrastructure? I want you to think about fiber, Wi-Fi, internet speed. Our children are going to school now, and the majority of the work that they do has got to be online. I mean, this can affect the education of our kids, right? This is the kind of capital improvement projects that we've got to keep in mind as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could be to attract a new business to our community, but really most of the work will be around helping the existing businesses, not only keep their doors open and keep their workforce, but how do they grow? How do they, just continue to thrive, if you will?
Thrive
so
2035.
Case in point, yeah, even like if you look at our high-tech business park, where we do have a couple of companies that were recruited and brought in or found Sheridan and asked to come here. I mean, it's not always us out there trying to drag people here, but we also have Kennan, which, they moved here several years ago where we're a small operation, but they continue to grow. And it's because that infrastructure was there that they were able to continue to grow and add jobs and support those families that are working for them. So it's all of it. Just want to make sure that it's not just that we're trying to do something where we can just start attracting or trying to attract multiple companies, because we know also in our community, we have some challenges.
Yeah.
We have some challenges with housing right now. And that's a critical issue that also the Economic Development Task Force has been involved in and is continuing to address as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because we can attract all the companies that we want, but unless we've got some place for the workers to live, we're in trouble. And so to thrive on, or to get those companies, those local companies to thrive, we're going to be looking at that as well. And
Absolutely.
supporting those who have already made the decision to be here and support Sheridan.
And that's a lot. That's a bulk of our work anyway. I mean, if you look at what Downtown Sheridan Association does, or what Scott Rendell with Impact Sheridan does, or what the Chamber does, or what CETA does, or what the Wyoming Business Council works on primarily, a lot of it is really around that support of what we already have, the local businesses, the local communities as well, and our city and county. Absolutely. Those leaders that are in those roles, they're always looking at how do we support what we have and how do we make our community strong, but also protected as well.
You can have a wall around the community, but it depends on what it's made out of. Sticks or stone.
So let me just comment on the infrastructure piece, back to your question there. So we did get a little bit of insight into some of the things that came out of the Gillette survey. And a real surprising element there was transportation. People want to have options of how to get around, whether it be a bus service, bike pass, making sure that the air service stays or grows. So those are all elements that will contribute to businesses and folks wanting to locate there and the overall quality of life. And so that was a surprising finding there. And if that shows up here, we will definitely have to address that. I don't think that comes up very much in Sheridan currently, but that type of aha could come out of the survey, and it could be something that, we would then need to act on.
And Goose Creek Transit does a fantastic job, but could you imagine if we had another form, let's say a bus that just traveled throughout Sheridan? Would you use it? I certainly would myself. I like public transit. I think it's fantastic. Now, folks, you want to take part in this. Trust me, you want to take part in this. How can someone find this review, Dixie?
Okay, so on several websites already, and I'm sure it will continue to be shared, but you can find it on our website, the county's website, the city of Sheridan's website. I don't know if it's up on Impact Sheridan
It's not
yet.
on Impact, but DSA, I believe, has it up.
Downtown Sheridan Association.
Yep.
We'll have surveys at the Third Thursday Street Festival tonight, in August, and in September. So you can do a hard copy and drop the hard copy in the drop box at Sheridan County. It's completely anonymous. Or you can do it online, and that's completely anonymous as well. So there's lots of options, and we're kicking it off tonight, and it's over the next several months that we'll be doing this. So we hopefully will get a really, really good, strong turnout participation rate.
Folks, I would say go ahead, jump on down there. It's on your mind anyway. Let's go ahead and get these surveys done as soon as we can. Visitors can take it. I'm going to be taking one of these. I'll probably take one by the end of the day. So is there anything else that you would like people to know about Thrive 2035 as we go forward?
So in addition to the surveys, I think Brandy had mentioned there will be a number of listening sessions that will happen in early November. So we will have a lot of feedback, hopefully a lot of good feedback from the survey process, and then it will transition into actually some public forums. And we will be trying to hit all of the various groups in some form or another. I think there'll be 9 or so listening sessions.
Wow.
There will be ability to come in and actually discuss your comments, your questions and concerns live, and it'll be a supplement to the information that's gathered via the written survey. So I want folks to know that there's going to be a couple of different ways to actually provide the feedback, and those that fill out a survey are more than welcome to go ahead and attend a listening session as well to make sure that the things that they want to comment on about the value of the community and the area, that those things are captured very accurately, and that our group going forward will have a very clear understanding and directive in terms of the things that the Economic Development Task Force can work on along with the city and the county and other folks that are involved in economic development.
I'll tell you what, I get a lot of comments about people wanting to be involved and they're worried about the future of their community. Folks, if this is you, this is how to do it right here. Make your voice heard. Scott, Dixie, Brandy, thank you all for coming in today and talking about this. And I'm going to be keeping track on all of this once the listening sessions start coming forward and those start getting planned. We'll make sure that folks know when and where to go. I absolutely love this survey. All right, folks, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lloyd.
All right, when we return, we're going to speak with the Sheridan County Commissioners. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE, 103.9 FM. Sheridan.
At Eliason Financial, money management isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about dreams and opportunities, and more importantly, family. We'll take time to get to know you. Then we'll develop a unique wealth management plan that works hard, just like you. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This is Alicia Cox with Harker Mellinger LLC. Since 1983, Harker Mellinger has been a leading accounting firm in Sheridan. We are here to help you succeed in your business and provide services which are customized to meet your financial needs and allows you to spend more time managing your business. Call today to see how we can provide you with cost-effective solutions. 672-0785 in Sheridan. Harker Mellinger. Our focus is where you're going, not where you've been.
If we don't abide by the Constitution when it is politically inconvenient, then we will not have the Constitution as our shield when we need to defend our First Amendment rights and our Second Amendment rights.
I'm voting for Liz Cheney because she believes in the Constitution, and this is what our country was built on.
And we need somebody like Liz who will fight for democracy, fight for our Constitution.
She's doing what's right. She's standing up for our constitutional rights. I really support and hope that you'll vote with me for Liz Cheney.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Liz Cheney for Wyoming.
The owners and staff at Kane's Funeral Home would like to thank the families of Sheridan and Johnson counties for choosing Kane's and allowing them to serve you during these hard times. Kane Funeral Home makes it their mission to take the stress and uncertainty out of ceremonial services. They own and operate the only crematory in Sheridan County, so your loved one is always in their care. Kane's Funeral Home, Call 673-5837 or visit them online at canefuneral.com.
Howdy, I'm Brandon Masters, a deputy of the Sheridan County Sheriff's Office. I'm running for sheriff. I have 15 years of Wyoming law enforcement experience. I believe community collaboration together with proactive law enforcement approach will lead to effective law enforcement in the community. When you vote for Brandon Masters, you vote for a leader who stands with the principles of grit. I humbly request your vote for sheriff on August 16th. I want to thank the citizens of Sheridan County for supporting the sheriff's office. For more information, find me on Facebook or visit my website, BrandonMastersForSheriff.com, paid for by Brandon Masters for Sheriff.
Bye-bye, my good boy. Be good while we go on vacation.
Parents get so uptight leaving us precious pets behind, but when they leave us in the quality care of McGraw's Paws, they really have nothing to worry about. We get lots of love and attention from the trained staff. This place is so nice, clean, safe, and pretty darn comfortable, so we dogs and cats have a good time while they're away. Plus, it's in a convenient in-town location for our humans.
McGraw's Paws, 1820 Gabriel Court, next to Second Chance Cat Rescue. Call 307-381-2184. We're taking in-advance reservations.
This is Ken here at Prime Rate Motors. We understand everybody's situation is different. We have helped people get into the car they need by numerous ways. You may need to down trade for lower payments. You may wish to trade in more than one car. Prime Rate Motors will accept trade-ins on trailers, tractors, campers, even four-wheelers. So let us help you get into a premium pre-owned vehicle that is exactly what you want and need. Here at Prime Rate Motors and Super Trailer Store on Sheridan's Coffeen Avenue or PrimeRateMotors.com.
Chris Hayden from Hammer Chevrolet. Summer heat is here.
It certainly is, Bob. Is your vehicle's air conditioning system keeping you cool? If not, why wait until you and the family are hot and uncomfortable on vacation to have it serviced? Call Hammer Chevrolet today for an appointment. We have the latest in air conditioning service equipment, and our factory-trained technicians can get the interior of your vehicle cooled down quickly.
Don't suffer in your car. Get your AC service today at Hammer Chevrolet, 107 East Downer, online, hammerchevy.com.
The office supply department continues to expand at the Sheridan Commercial Company. Hi, Kurt Smith here. Need office supplies? We're here to help. We're adding more in-stock items all the time. You can also go online to SheridanCommercial.com and view over 42,000 office supply items that you can have delivered to your office or to our store. We'll even deliver them. SheridanCommercial.com is an office supply mega website. The Sheridan Commercial Company Office Supply Department inside at 303 Broadway or online at SheridanCommercial.com.
Back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends out there at Eliason Financial. I'm Floyd Whiting. This morning, for the second part of the show, I am joined by Sheridan County Commissioner Terry Cram and Commission Chair Lonnie Wright. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Now, how was your Sheridan Wyo Rodeo Week? And I'm going to start with you, Commissioner Cram, because I know Lonnie's was full.
Oh, you know, I don't get into it anymore. I get into it a little bit, mostly because I live about 2 blocks from the fairgrounds. And
yeah.
It's kind of hard to avoid.
Just walk outside.
That's right. You can hear almost everything that happens from right outside your deck there. So we didn't go this year. In fact, we didn't go last year, 2 years in a row, to the rodeo. But we managed to take in the parade, and we'll probably go to rodeo next year. We'll see what happens. We had things going on, and we had to be out of town. And
yeah, a lot of things happen during rodeo week. It's just a good week.
We took our 4-wheelers and headed for the mountain, actually just to cool off a little bit. So,
had your own little rodeo up there.
We did.
Now, Chairman Wright.
I make up for Terry's absence. I was there all day, every day, and every night. So yeah, we were in attendance. You can count on that.
Now, Chairman, I do want to say the relay races. That was my first relay race this year, and my wife's very first rodeo. And I can say, as an individual who was in the crowd, that the board did an absolutely outstanding job. And I was speaking with the police yesterday, and everyone was on great behavior throughout the entire weekend. The DUIs were very, very low this year. Public intoxication, very, very low this year. It was just a good time, and one that you could grab the kids, head on outside. Lots of events going on throughout the entire city.
Absolutely, yeah. The rodeo for me, I would liken it to, you wait and wait and wait for Christmas to come, and
all of a sudden it's here and then boom, it's gone. So
Yeah.
rodeo's kind of the same way with me. It's, you look forward to it year round and you plan and scheme and work organizing, and it finally shows up and right before your eyes, poof, it's gone, and fall will be here before you know it.
These guys definitely deserve a lot of kudos for
Absolutely.
what they do. And it's hundreds and hundreds of different things that you don't even think about, and they're right on top of everything.
And
they're already planning for next year.
Exactly. They're already getting to work.
Yeah.
And I worked with some folks who have been here for quite some time, covered that rodeo, covered the event quite some time, and they have said that this thing just keeps getting bigger and better every single year.
And cowboys like it.
It's absolutely amazing, and it's a heck of a thing to witness. And folks, if you haven't, then I'm going to tell you, get out there next year. But I do have some sad news to an extent. And Chairman Wright, this year you hung up your spurs, my friend. I was there on Saturday night, and I saw the I guess you could call it a ceremony, a goodbye.
Yeah, it was. So this was your wife's first rodeo. Well, it was kind of like my last rodeo as a committee member. Nothing to do with the relationships with the committee. I mean, looking back on the last 13 years, it's a highlight of my life working with these folks. They're the hardest working, down to earth, honest, and one goal in mind, and that is to put on the best show possible. And it's not about me. It's all about Sheridan as a community, bringing people into town. And it's like Christmas in July for Sheridan County, really. I mean, all the businesses. If you're not making a buck in July during rodeo week, then there's something definitely wrong.
You must have your doors closed.
That's right.
Yep.
So anyway, I just can't say enough about the quality of the other folks on the committee and how hard they work, and look forward to seeing what they do in the future.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you, sir, for all the time and effort and work that you've put in over the years.
What are you going to do with your free times? Whatever.
Yeah, now what are you going to be doing in July?
Probably some things I haven't been doing for the last 13 years.
That shed still needs painted.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. There's a list.
I'm sure she's got some honeydews for you somewhere. All right, big news as the Sheridan County Commission has approved a lease for a new ammunition manufacturing company. Absaroka. I usually say that mispronounce that. Did I pronounce that correctly this time around?
Pronounce it Absaroka.
Absaroka. Valley Ammunition. They're going to build a facility on land in the Sheridan Airport Business Park. Big news. Commissioners, what do we know?
Well, we know that we approved a lease for these people to give them the go-ahead and pursue their wishes to build a factory up there. They're talking about, they're wanting to turn out, I think, like 30 million rounds of ammunition a year.
Wow.
With 15, 20, 25 employees. And they have to do a bunch of work up there. They have to increase about 150 foot of pavement up there and put in some culvert and sewer and things like that, some infrastructure. That'll all become part of the business park. And then we leased them the lot, and they'll build their factory. And the way it works up there is the rent's pretty low.
Yeah.
And it's to encourage people to come in and start businesses up there. But the county will end up owning the building in 40 years. That's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of putting money into leases on the ground like they would ordinarily, they can put that money into building their widgets, whatever it is.
And then, making their products.
Exactly. And the county would own the building in 40 years. And if they wanted to keep on leasing it, then they would lease it. We would have first option to keep on doing it. So we're excited about it. It seemed like one gentleman's a doctor here in town, has been here forever, and the other guy moved here like 12, 13 years ago.
So these are locals.
Yeah, he's a Navy munitions expert. I actually come from Rapid City, is where he's from originally. But seem like they're going to fit right in.
Absolutely. That sounds like a good business for this area. Everyone around here, hunters, sportsmen, sports shooters. You've
Hard
got
to find ammunition.
and sometimes it can be.
It is.
Really can be.
It is.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. If you've been to any place that sells guns or ammunition, the ammunition side of it is pretty lacking. There's a lot of empty shelf space. Last time I looked, anyway. So yeah.
And I don't think they'll have any problem selling their product.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good business plan.
I understand they're looking for investors. So I don't know.
There you go.
Hey.
What I heard through the grapevine.
Now, when is the construction slated to begin? Do we have a date?
They want to start next month.
Really? That's fantastic.
Yeah, they talked about starting sometime in August if they got the permits and the okay from the commission. So.
I'm not really big on construction or engineering anymore. It's been a long time since I've been out of that game. But the how long would this facility take for them to actually get up off the ground, do you think? Have you seen blueprints yet? Have they?
No. I have not seen any plans, but
we did actually.
You guys did?
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys were tied up in rodeo stuff the day that we looked at the plans.
But they do have like a precursory.
Oh yeah, we saw the architect's design, which was in conjunction with the state fire marshal, of course.
Right.
The restrictions and what they had to do to protect it. So. Anyway, I don't know how long the construction's due to last, and when they're projected to actually start something up there.
I think I heard April next year would be when they would want to try to actually be putting people to work and start manufacturing and start producing something.
April of next year. That's amazing.
That means they're going to be working all through the winter to build their facility and get it, wired, plumbed.
Get the exteriors done and work on the other parts through the winter. So.
Now, did they share how many jobs this was intended to create?
They said they told us they were looking at 20 to 25.
Yep.
And it could be 15 to start with, but 20, 25 to run the place initially. But they're looking to expand someday, and we'll see how that goes. So they've got big wishes, of course.
Absolutely.
And, we'll see.
This may be only one of many facilities in the future. We never know.
The glass is half full, Floyd. That's what I say.
Absolutely. Now, the commission recently placed a fire restriction within the county. Commissioners, what do we need to know about our fire restriction?
Well, Floyd, the fire restrictions, it's basically the same one. I've been associated with the fire service for over 20 years, and I think it's the same exact one that I've seen every year. And it's basically you're allowed to have a charcoal fire in a contained within an enclosed grill. It's not like you can't do anything that has to do with fire. If you want to burn trash in a barrel, you have to do it like between 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. So over the night, you're supposed to have a cover over it with, an arrestor so sparks and firebrands don't come out of it if the wind kicks in.
My dad always had one of those over top of ours.
Yep.
Clear an area around it.
Yep, clear an area around it, like 10 or 15 feet. Campfires are permitted. So far, the National Forest hasn't put on a fire ban, to my knowledge. I know the BLM has, but the Bighorn National Forest is still wide open. And you use common sense. You need to have your fire in an area in a fire pit or a fire ring up there. Same thing, have a bucket of water close by, have maybe a shovel, electric welding and acetylene cutting are only permitted in cleared areas, like a 15-foot radius. Once again, don't let common sense go out the window. If the wind's howling, it's probably not a good time to go out and put up a bunch of pipe fence when the grass is 3 feet tall,
Go grind the trailer during high noon.
branding activities are permitted, but once again, clear an area where the branding stove's going to be sitting there cooking away. Fireworks are prohibited.
Same way.
Yeah, fireworks are prohibited like they always are this time of the year, unless they have a permit. And so I know exploding targets are probably not a good thing, so that's a big no-no.
Keep it clay.
Yeah.
They could have
basic common sense
Can
stuff.
even
like
have
that.
a small fire in their backyard if they like, as
Yeah.
long as they have a hose and a fire extinguisher around and a 15-foot, green area.
Yeah.
So people can enjoy it. It's not a complete shutdown.
Right.
Unless it's a red flag day, and there's exceptions. If it's a red flag day, everything pretty well shuts. By the way, this whole resolution is online at SheridanCounty.com. People, any question at all, if you can do it or can't, look it up. And
the only reason you guys really enact these is because fire marshals and the fire warden have approached you and said, hey, it's time. Things are getting too dang dry. I think over the course of the last half week, I think we've had a couple fires already starting to spark up here in the area. Yeah. It's fire season, folks. Here we are. Yeah. At the tail end of July, that's why I love June. Everything's green and beautiful out there, and by the time we get to the end of July, we're worried about fire all over the nation.
We've actually had it pretty good this year. I don't think anybody should be complaining about how long it was green and when it started to, cure and brown.
We did. It stayed green till about mid-July, didn't it?
That's pretty good
time.
for this part of the world, I think. So
get south of here, it's a different story.
Oh yeah, we're way better in some other areas.
We look good.
But yeah, don't let common sense go out the window. If it looks like it might be a little bit too windy to have a fire outside, then it probably is. So.
Yeah. Wait till another time to burn the garbage. Wait till another time to go hit the grinder.
Yep.
We can all be a little patient and help preserve our area. Really.
That's right.
Save a lot of money. This firefighting, the bill is starting to get pretty dang high.
Well, remember all the fire districts, the rural fire districts, are all volunteers. None of them are paid. So, they're dropping whatever they're doing when the alarm goes off. They're dropping whatever they're doing to run to the fire station, load up in a truck, and try to protect property and lives.
Put their lives on the line.
Absolutely.
We lose fighters every year, unfortunately. So it is a risky job. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming in this morning and talking with me and sharing your time with our Economic Development Committee out there. Those guys are great. And remember, folks, jump online or head down to Third Thursday tonight. Take that survey. Thrive 2035. Sheridan County Commissioners are supporting this. They're going to use this information to help guide and direct our county well into the future.
As well as the city.
Yeah. As well as the city.
Right.
Yeah, and you can make your voice heard. Gentlemen, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Chairman Wright, thank you for all the great years of rodeo, my friend. I greatly appreciate it.
That was fun.
And I know you got a whole community out there who appreciates it as well.
Thanks,
folks. You've been listening to Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.
At Eliason Financial, money management isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about dreams and opportunities, and more importantly, family. We'll take time to get to know you. Then we'll develop a unique wealth management plan that works hard, just like you. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
I'm Renee Botten, and I'm running for re-election as your Sheridan County Clerk of District Court. My qualifications for this position are unmatched. I have served as your District Court Clerk for the past 3.5 years. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration and a law degree from the University of Wyoming. I've practiced law in Sheridan for 27 years. With your help, I look forward to dedicating my experience and service to you for the next 4 years. Paid for by Renee Botten.
If you've been thinking about building your dream home, Vista West is the place to be. Hi, it's Jack and Kathleen Wood from Best Real Estate.
You're right, Jack. With 5 to 7 plus acre lots starting at around $250,000, Vista West is just what you're looking for, with less than 3 miles from downtown Sheridan.
You heard her, folks. I'm right.
Wait, what?
Building your luxury dream home with natural landscaping and views of the Bighorns, Vista West is Sheridan, Wyoming's premier executive building site.
Call Jack and Kathleen Wood at 307-763-1249. It's time to live your life the best at Vista West.
And I was right.
Brokered by EXP. Hi, this is Dan Marshall at Captain Clean, and we offer free HVAC cleaning estimates. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, 25 to 40% of the energy used for heating or cooling a home is wasted. Contaminants in your HVAC system cause it to work harder and shorten the life of your system. Call for your free estimate and start saving money today by making your system more cost-effective and reducing how hard it has to work to maintain your home's temperature. Captain Clean, 672-0726. Affordable choices for healthy living.
I'm here with Candace Crane from Sheridan Honda.
Tommy, hi. Today I wanted to talk about Sheridan Honda's pickup and delivery service.
Okay, tell me more.
We all have a lot going on this summer, and bringing your vehicle in for service isn't always at the top of the priority list. So to make it easier for you, we will pick up your vehicle, service it, wash it, and drop it back off for you.
Wow, that's great. Convenience.
Absolutely. We also have a trailer for your power sports that needs service, and we'll even wash those as well.
Wow, schedule your service today at SheridanHonda.com.
KROE, Sheridan, broadcasting from the Wyoming Corporate Office Studio.
KROE, Sheridan.
This is a Fox News alert. The president. I'm Rich Dennison. The White House says President Biden is experiencing mild symptoms after contracting COVID-19. He tested positive this morning.
The president was set to go up to Pennsylvania, Scranton area later today to talk about how he's going to combat crime. He was going to be spending the weekend at his home in Wilmington, Delaware. Now it says the White House that he's going to be isolating here. The White House simply saying that the president has very mild symptoms right now. They also point to his vaccination status as well as his boosting status. They want to make it clear that they believe those people that have the vaccines, that they are going to be okay.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. Administration officials say the president will continue carrying out his duties while isolating at the White House. Steve Bannon's lawyers begin their defense today in his criminal contempt of Congress trial. He's charged with defying a congressional subpoena from the House committee examining the January 6th Capitol riot. Bannon's charged with 2 counts of criminal contempt of Congress, each count carrying a potential 1-year prison sentence. There's some signs of weakness in the nation's job market.
More people were signing up for unemployment benefits last week. The number of new claims rose 7,000 to 251,000. The number is stronger than forecast. Economists were predicting a decline, and it's the highest reading since last November. There are more people staying on unemployment. Those still receiving benefits rose by 51,000 to 1.38 million.
Fox's Ginny Casola. The European Central Bank has raised interest rates today for the first time in 11 years by a larger than expected amount. They're joining steps already taken by the U.S. Federal Reserve and other major central banks to target high inflation. The hike of 0.5 percentage point for the 19 countries using the euro currency is expected to be followed by another increase in September, possibly of another 0.5 point. America's listening to Fox News.
The economy is headed directly for a disaster. The Fed can either raise rates to lower inflation and trigger a stock and housing market crash, or it can keep rates low and potentially cause hyperinflation. That is why you must take action to protect your savings right now. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to diversify your retirement account out of paper assets and into physical gold. The Birch Gold Group IRA is what I recommend to all my family and friends. And today, Birch Gold is giving away a free information kit about how gold IRAs work. To get your free copy, just text the word PROTECT to 989898. It's crucial for you to get this information before an economic disaster is in full swing. Again, text PROTECT to the number 989898 to get your free information kit on gold. There's no obligation or purchase required, so do it now. Text PROTECT to 989898. Action, action, action. Use your agency. Take action today.
Again, our top story, President Biden has tested positive for COVID and is experiencing mild symptoms. Administration officials say the president, who is fully vaccinated and has had 2 booster shots, is taking the antiviral medication Paxlovid and will isolate in the White House while carrying out his duties. 2 Texas men have been indicted by a federal grand jury in connection with the deaths of 53 migrants found dead or dying inside a truck.
Homero Zamorano Jr. and Christian Martinez, both of Pasadena, Texas, are facing counts of transporting and conspiring to transport migrants illegally, resulting in death. The Attorney General's office could authorize prosecutors to seek death penalties. The truck had been packed with people back in June when Zamorano allegedly abandoned it. Prosecutors say investigators went through his phone and found conversations with Martinez concerning smuggling runs. Jill Nato, Fox News.
A jury has convicted a 26-year-old man for murdering retired police captain David Dorn in June of 2020 when racial injustice protests turned to riots in St. Louis, Missouri.
Dorn was responding to a burglar alarm at a friend's pawn shop when he confronted the looters. Prosecutors say Stefan Cannon shot and killed the 77-year-old. Half a dozen other suspects are facing charges in the incident as well.
Fox's Shannon Bream, Cannon's attorney, says they will appeal. The Monarch Butterfly is a step closer to extinction as scientists put the iconic orange and black insect on the endangered list because of its fast dwindling numbers. The International Union for the Conservation of Nature added the migrating monarch butterfly for the first time to its red list, or threatened species, and categorized it as endangered, which is 2 steps from extinct. The group says the population of monarchs in North America has declined between 22 and 72% over 10 years. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
They're not just there at tax time. Cloud Peak Accounting's professional staff is available year-round to help you with your business accounting, personal records, and ranch accounting too. With their easy-to-use website, it's easy to do business with them, and they're currently accepting new clients. Don't have time to come in to meet with them? Don't worry. You can even do business with Cloud Peak Accounting from the comfort of your own home. Visit cloudpeakcpa.com.
The following message is presented by Century 21 BHJ, 101 South Main.
This is Logan from the Renegades 4-H Club. We partnered with Sheridan Foster Parent Exchange to collect items for the Fall Ready Set School event. We are collecting toothbrushes, toothpaste, chapstick, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, reusable water bottles, and washcloth. Drop boxes are arranged at Connects, South Sheridan Avenue, and Common Sense on North Main. Call or text 307-763-9687 for range pickup.
News Talk 930 is 103.9 FM.
Live from everywhere USA, it's Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon.
Here we go. Coming to you live from the greatest country in the world, broadcasting from the tippy top of the world-famous Fox News headquarters in New York City. It is Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon, a man who has never caught COVID-19, not the Omicron, not original recipe, no COVID for this guy. Well, yesterday, President Biden accidentally told the world he had cancer. The White House, of course, walked back his statement, but today they just announced that he really does have COVID. And of course, we are sending the president best wishes, and we're also congratulating him because technically speaking, this is the first positive result of his presidency.
Come on, man.
We will talk COVID, climate emergencies, and other things you shouldn't be too worried about at 888-788-9910. 888-788-9910. You know the rule on this show today and every day. You can be a Republican. You can be a Democrat. We don't care. It's America. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. We're all free-range chickens. So be a Republican. Be a Democrat. Just don't be a... That is it. Happy Thursday. Busy TV day for your radio buddy. I'm coming up with the K-Train tonight. You'll see me on Kennedy on the Fox Business Network. I appeared at 5 a.m. this morning on Fox and Friends First. That hit is on the Fox Across America Facebook page if you want to check it out. And I bring up TV because yesterday, as we were sitting on set, I was supposed to be on America Reports yesterday at the very end of the show. That's how it works. You finish radio, you run down the hall, you jump on the TV set, and you close that show. Hey, here's Jimmy. He's got something silly to say about the news. Good night, everybody. Martha McCallum is up next. It's fun. It's a great thing. High honor to have that gig from time to time when it comes my way. But yesterday, as we were sitting on set, myself and Sandra Smith, getting ready to cover the final story of the day, Biden walked up to a microphone and started giving a speech about a climate emergency in Massachusetts.
I don't remember that ever happening.
But it did happen. As we're sitting there on the set of America Reports, he starts babbling that he has cancer. We're sitting there, we're like, wait, did he just tell us he had cancer? It was a mess. And he was trying to make a point that himself and everybody he grew up with has cancer because there was literally oil on his mom's windshield wipers growing up from the nearby plant and climate change, and this is why we all have cancer. Now, everybody was scrambling. Oh, my gosh, did the president tell us he had cancer? It was a weird one, to be sure. But if you scrambled a little further, you realize he actually told this same story back in May about asthma and said, that's why I and the kids I grew up with, they all have asthma because we had oil on our windshields.
We have a president that is clearly not all there.
So just to confirm, okay, the president does not have cancer so far as we know, thank God, because this is not a show that roots against anybody. We don't get on the air and decide that just because somebody doesn't hold the same opinion as us, that they're not a person. So don't become that thing you hate, because like when Trump was diagnosed with COVID, if you remember, I mean, the internet's always a dumpster fire. I say it every day. Twitter is a fight club for people who don't actually want to get hit. They want all the confrontation. They want all the bile. They just don't actually want to do any of this in person because here's a news flash. Most of the people on Twitter talking tough are a bunch of, just to be clear. But now that Biden does, in fact, have a diagnosis of COVID-19, I do want to physically wish the man well at a time when our country is so unhealthy because of this guy's leadership.
Tell him like it is.
And I say this not only because I'm a good person and I wish everybody well, but because if this doesn't work out for Biden, we've got something called President Kamala Harris.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
I'm not ready for that, man. There is no world. I understand we got to get going to where we got to go because it's time to keep doing what we've been doing, and that time is every day. I get it. But it doesn't mean I or anybody should be on board with a President Kamala Harris.
Kamala's awful with her weird laugh.
But making matters worse for Biden is, he's battling COVID. Doctors are saying his symptoms are mild. I don't know if that means the COVID or the dementia, to be clear. But they're saying he's experiencing mild symptoms in this moment. Okay, but now it is standard protocol in the Democratic Party. This guy is going to issue a statement thanking the vaccine. Say, I just want to thank God I've been vaccinated and boosted, which I never understood because you're telling people the vaccine didn't work. Okay, the whole point of a vaccine is to make sure you don't get the disease. That's the thing. There's no breakthrough cases. That's a new term we invented. Okay, you've never heard of 50 million breakthrough polio cases. You've never heard of 50 million breakthrough measles cases. But they've made that workaround for the vaccine. Why? Because obviously they're trying to boost vaccine enthusiasm and stuff like that. But basically bigger than that is because it's a therapeutic. It is a therapeutic for all intents and purposes that might help treat you in the event you contract the virus. It does not in any way, shape, or form prevent you from getting the virus. Okay, and we only know this because most of the people getting COVID and making headlines are guys like Joe Biden who've been vaxxed and boosted 2 times. But the irony here is Biden was right about the vaccine back on the campaign trail when he was actually bashing the thing at every turn.
Let's just say there's a vaccine that is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us.
If and when the vaccine comes, it's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to be and the trials that are needed to be done. When we finally do, God willing, get a vaccine, who's going to take the shot? Who's going to take the shot? You can be the first one to say, sign me up. They now say it's okay. And the question of whether it's real when it's there, that requires enormous transparency. You got to make all of it available to other experts across the nation so they can look and see. So there's consensus. This is a safe vaccine. If the president announced tomorrow we have a vaccine, would you take it? Only if it was completely transparent that other experts in the country could look at it. only if we knew all of what went into it. If Donald Trump can't give answers and his administration can't give answers to these three questions, the American people should not have confidence.
But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
She is a fraud, a phony, a woman without a moral core, a regular two-faced, mealy-mouthed politician who swings with the wind.
True story, because those same Democrats, meaning Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who treated the vaccine on the campaign trail like Trump was making it himself for Barron School Science Fair. You know, hey, we're not making the baking soda volcano the rest of the kids make, Barron. We're the Trumps. We're going big. We're making a vaccine. Come on, Barron. That's how they treated it on the campaign trail. But the minute they got into office, what did they do? They embraced the vaccine, so much so that they would fire you from your job if you didn't take the vaccine. Okay, they embraced it so hard that they were telling you you could not get COVID if you got this vaccine.
That is a fact check false.
And here's the proof. Here's Biden clip 1.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
You're not telling me the truth.
Okay, here is Biden calling it a pandemic of the unvaccinated, if you remember. He was telling you, oh, well, this pandemic's only going on because people won't get out there and take the shot. That's why it's going on. Again, Joe Biden has been vaccinated and boosted 3 times. At least 2 that we know of. We believe it's 3, but we know the White House has confirmed 2 in the most recent reporting we have. Yet he still has COVID. But here he is, again, shaming the unvaccinated. This is clip 2.
There's no excuse. No excuse for anyone being unvaccinated. This continues to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated. So we got to make more progress.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
I told you back in September when they came down with a vaccine mandate. A mandate, by the way, that they were all against. They had gone on record as saying they would not support a mandate. Here are the faces of the Biden administration saying exactly that last spring.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory. But
perhaps the federal government should step in and issue mandates? And if not, are you putting the needs of unvaccinated people ahead of the needs of vaccinated people?
Well, I think the question here, one, that's not the role of the federal government. That is the role that institutions, private sector entities, and others may take. That certainly is appropriate. Also, local communities are going to take steps they need to take.
I don't think you'll ever see a mandating of vaccine, particularly for the general public.
He should be behind bars.
That's Fauci. No, I don't think you'll see a vaccine. We shouldn't do that. That's Biden. No. That's Jen Psaki. No vaccine mandate.
Psaki sucks. Kaylee was so much better.
But what happened last August, and this is what you have to understand, what happened last August was Afghanistan. The president was about even to slightly above water in the polls going into Afghanistan. And after getting on TV and assuring us the Afghan army wouldn't collapse if we pulled our troops out ahead of the civilians, which of course it did within 2 days of him saying so, after getting on TV and declaring it was a successful airlift at a time when 13 service members had died, thousands of Americans had been trapped behind enemy lines, and oh, by the way, Afghanistan, a war we fought for 20 years to make sure it didn't become a breeding ground for terror groups. That war ended with a terror group in charge of their government sitting on $85 billion worth of weapons we left behind.
That can't be good.
No, it's not good, but it's especially bad for Biden's poll numbers. That was the day he lost the country in Afghanistan. He lost the country over Afghanistan, and if you remember me telling you this in September, when they started to implement the vaccine mandate, I said they're doing this purely as a political ploy, meaning they know that ultimately, yes, COVID cases are going to go down because these variants hit us in waves. They go up in the beginning, they go down a few weeks later, and they wanted to be able to hang their hat on some type of victory. Okay, I told you in September of last year, cases had already begun to fall, but the media wasn't reporting it. Why? Because they wanted to keep people scared, because your fear equals their ratings.
The media is a bunch of losers.
So the Biden administration, knowing cases had begun to fall, implemented a vaccine mandate so they could say, see, we threw on the mandate, and then ultimately the cases went down. Because you know they usually have to go down for about 6 months before the media will actually acknowledge it because, again, they're trying to squeeze as much ratings and fear out of this as they can. And I said this was a gambit by the Biden administration at a time when his support was cratering to rally his base and give Democrats the one thing they cherish more than anything else, which is the moral high ground.
That's true. That is true.
They love the moral high ground. So they spent the next 2 months saying what? Well, at least we're better than these Republicans who won't get the vaccine. They're killing people, these unvaccinated Republicans, because everybody knows if you get the vaccine, you can't spread the virus. The vaccinated people don't get and spread the virus. Yeah, but apparently nobody told the leader in the moral superiority army, Rachel Maddow, that was the case, because here she is in March yelling and screaming at the unvaccinated.
It means that instead of the vaccine being able, instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person to person, spreading and spreading, sickening some of them, but not all of them. And the ones that it doesn't sicken don't know they have it. And then they give it to even more people because they didn't recognize they were, right? Instead of the virus being able to hop from person to person to person, potentially mutating and becoming more virulent and drug resistant along the way. Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. That means the vaccines will get us to the end of this.
I believe that was 5 incorrect answers. If she was on Tucker Carlson's final exam with me, her score would be -10, and I would have my second career victory on that show. Okay? This was all about moral superiority. It was all about Riley and the base. That's what the vaccine mandate was. And I'm not saying that as someone who's anti-vax. I have the vaccine. I got the Johnson & Johnson. What they didn't tell me is it was Magic Johnson and Keyshawn Johnson. I can't catch COVID, but man, can I catch a pass?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
I'm just being stupid. But the point is, all of those lies, all of those errors by the Biden administration really are pronounced on a day like today in a big way. Because if you call this a pandemic of the unvaccinated for a year and a half, and then you yourself get COVID as a vaccinated person, kind of takes the wind out from under that entire claim. So I do send Joe Biden the best wishes with his health. I hope to God, at the very least, his physical health is better than the health of his credibility in this moment.
Let Joe tell you how it will be. He'll fire you so easily. 'Cause Joe's the vax man. Yeah, he's the vax man. He's vaccinating one and all. From young adults and kids real small. 'Cause Joe's the vax man. Yeah, he's the vax man. If you drive a truck, he'll vax your seat. If you own a farm, he'll vax your weeds. If you're serving food, he'll vax your eats. If you're anti-vax, won't let you tweet. Vax man.
Don't go anywhere. Fox Across America with Jimmy Fallon. We'll be right back.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group.
Attention, this is an important notice for anyone who has been implanted with a Cartiva toe implant. Cartiva is a synthetic cartilage implant that is used to treat great toe arthritis, and recent reports indicate the Cartiva implant has a greater than expected failure rate. Once the implant fails, it can cause component fracture, inflammation, infection, and allergic reactions. Symptoms of a failed Cartiva implant can also include debilitating pain, immobility, throbbing sensations, and decreased range of motion. As a result, additional surgery or revision surgery may be necessary. If you or a loved one were implanted with a Cartiva Great Toe implant and later suffered implant failure or other injuries, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Call us now at 800-585-6301. Our experienced attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Time is limited to file a claim, so call now. 800-585-6301. That's 800-585-6301. Again, 800-585-6301.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
It's Captain Clean here, and cleaning season is back. Let our cleaning experts freshen up your carpets and furniture. Let our HVAC experts clean your ductwork and air conditioning for maximum performance paired with clean air this season. Bring your area rugs to our shop and have our rug cleaning experts freshen them up. Cleaning season is back. Call Captain Clean 672-0726 and let's clean.
We clean more for you. We're Captain Clean.
Bookkeeping. Let's face it, it's not one of your favorite things to do. In fact, it's not most people's favorite thing. There you sit, looking at all that paper, taxes, bills, budget. And if you own your own business, you could feel like you're drowning in paperwork. Don't be frustrated. Contact Cloud Peak Accounting. After all, they're the people that actually enjoy that kind of thing. With their easy-to-use website, you can do business with them from the comfort of your own home. Visit cloudpeakcpa.com.
I'm here with Candace Crane from Sheridan Honda.
Tommy, hi. Did you know that you don't have to buy a car from us to sell your car to us?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, used cars are selling for a premium these days, and we would love to get your used vehicle and get some extra cash in your pocket.
Okay, how do you go about that?
Well, it's really easy. Just stop into Sheridan Honda and talk to one of our friendly staff, and we'll write you an offer right there on the spot.
Okay, whether you're buying or selling, stop into Sheridan Honda today.
Hey, this is Josh with Rtr Automotive Studio. With hail season picking up, it's time to think about your options for paintless dent repair. Rtr Automotive Studio is your only locally owned paintless dent repair business in Sheridan. I have over 12 years experience, and I want to help you keep your vehicle in pristine condition. We work with all insurance companies and offer full warranty on all of our work. Contact me at 307-752-7081 or stop by the shop at 403 North Main Street for a free estimate. Check out our before and after photos on Facebook and Instagram.
Lord James, it's happening! It's really happening! July 30th! What's happening, peasant? The Tenement of Knights, a spectacular show of jousting, melee, and awards for wearing our best finery!
They're having a Renaissance fair, too. People in stockades, Donk the Monk, archery art, a petting zoo, even cosplay with prizes.
Oh, yes. But of course, the main event is the Knights of Mayhem.
Away from me, peasants! What's the cosplay you speak of? Quickly, get my shillings! We'll have to get tickets!
We can get our tickets at a land called chapswyo.org.
As local store owners, we want to say thank you. Hi, I'm Nikki with Rooster's Gift Store.
And I'm Jessica with Sheridan Stationery Books and Gifts.
We appreciate your shopping local and keeping your dollars here in our community.
When you shop with us, that allows us to support local events, benefits, and charities.
So from the bottom of our hearts,
we say thank you.
Stop by and visit Roosters at 206 North Main.
And Sheridan Stationery Books and Gifts at 535 North Main.
From Jill Bates in the Best Team Studio, brokered by EXP, News Talk 930, now on 103.9 FM.
It is Fox Across America with Jimmy Fail. A crowded dance card today. Florida Representative Kat Kamik going to be in the house. We're also going to talk to Inez Stepman, superstar writer. Inez on Twitter describes herself as American, anti-feminist, champagne capitalist. I will drink to that. I'm into that. Champagne capitalist. She wants to make that money. Why? Because people don't come to America to apologize for their happiness. They don't come to America to have their success demonized. But that really is the message on the left right now. Check your privilege, you know. And that's why they're cratering in support. But the big story, if you're just joining us, is that Joe Biden did, in fact, test positive for COVID-19 a short while ago.
This could be a problem.
Yeah, it's not a good one. We root for the president, no matter who it is, whether we voted for them or not. Okay, just understand that. And I hate every policy Biden has tried to implement. To be honest with you, because I cover this every day, I probably resent his leadership more than anybody listening right now, because I'm a guy who really does root for the country, and I hate doing a one-note show where you got to bash the president if it's not the party you voted for. Because you understand, most of talk radio, they're bashing this stuff whether they agree with it or not, because these are not talented people. They're just guys selling you anger, getting you worked up so you'll keep glued to their show. But the truth is, I'm always on the air looking for that silver lining. Like if they do something right and it goes well, awesome. Okay, as they go, we go. I want to know the guy's doing a good job. So there were a lot of times where I feel handcuffed covering this administration because it's just one dumb story after another. And I mean real handcuffs, not the invisible handcuffs that people like AOC wear.
AOC is a dope.
But we're going to get to some of your calls in the next break to talk about this. We'll probably gratuitously play some more of our vaccine bits that we wrote way back when, because you always write them thinking you'll only get to use them for a month. But as it turns out, this pandemic of the unvaccinated has just ensnared more vaccinated people. So we will continue to cover it when we come back right here on the big, bad, one and only high-flying, death-defying Fox Across America.
From the Sheridan Media Newsroom, I'm Trevor Jackson with SheridanMedia.com News. The Sheridan Police Department reports very low numbers regarding DUIs, public intoxication, and minor in possession citations through Sheridan Wild Rodeo Week. Sheridan Media's Floyd Whiting has details.
While appearing on Sheridan Media's Public Pulse program, Chief Travis Koltiska and Captain Tom Ringley told listeners that they were happy with the low citation numbers from this past week's events. Ringley said he believes the activities that surround WYO Rodeo Week have evolved into more family-friendly events, a trend he and the rest of the Sheridan PD hope continues. The evidence is in the numbers, as the citations and arrests were approximately half of what have occurred in previous years.
The week's evolving, along with the community, as we want to become a family-friendly destination place. It's not just for visitors. It's a place where we want our residents to be able to enjoy, too, without a bunch of nonsense. And that's what happened. The department had 2 DUIs for the whole weekend, and that's less than we get on a regular weekend. And Highway Patrol had 1 more DUI. MIPs we had 1 incident, and I think 3 public intoxications. So the numbers-wise, it was basically a regular weekend for us.
Taking a look at the weather picture for Sheridan and the area, sunny and hot today. Temperatures in the low to mid-90s overnight tonight. Clear skies, temperatures upper 50s, sunny and hot for Friday. Temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. Then for your coming weekend, lots of sunshine. Temperatures in the upper 80s on Saturday. On Sunday, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms with temperatures around 90. And on Monday, some showers and thunderstorms possible in the afternoon with a high again around 90. For the latest news, weather, sports, photos, streaming video and audio, join us online at our website at SheridanMedia.com. I'm Trevor Jackson. You're up to date.
Hey Sheridan, this is Shelby with First Northern Bank of Wyoming asking you to listen for our Sheridan WYO Rodeo photo contest on 93.7 The Coyote. Tune in to listen for our contest details, and if your photo is chosen from the KYTI text line, you could win a $50 gift certificate to Farmers Co-op and Albertsons. Listen live to the Coyote Morning Show with Tommy and Bell Friday, July 22nd to see if you win, and check our social media pages to see if your photo is featured. Good luck. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Does your garage or parking space need a facelift? Hi, this is Brad at Prime Rate Motors, and the best way to spruce up your garage is a new car, truck, or SUV from Prime Rate Motors. Plus, we are looking to buy or trade locally owned cars, trucks, SUVs, trailers, tractors, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Cash or trade, Prime Rate Motors in the Super Trailer store is interested in visiting with you about your pre-owned vehicle. Dress up that garage with a new vehicle from Prime Rate Motors, 2305 Coffeen Avenue, here in Sheridan.
The following message is presented by the Home Loan Center of